it's this word servant. Some of your translations are going to say bondservants, and others are going to say slaves. And immediately, some people are triggered because they're going to say, well, there you have it. The Bible supports slavery. Slow down. In the Roman time, upwards of 50% of citizens were actually slaves. So Rome would invade a country. They would move their governors and their politicians there. Men and women and children would become slaves, and they didn't have any rights. And so what Peter is actually writing here is that the overwhelming majority of his church would have actually been slaves. So this is not condoning slavery, but what it actually is doing, it is setting a time bomb in the Roman citizenship to where the ethics of the Bible will actually lead to the downfall of Rome. You say, how is that possible? Because the way Christians lived versus the culture flipped the world upside down on its head. Yeah. Because in the Bible, here's what it says. There's neither Jew, nor Greek, nor slave, nor free, nor male, nor female. See, according to the Bible, slaves are free, and those who think they're free actually are slaves to sin. Yeah. And it was the early church that began to distribute the sacraments to everybody, slaves and to women. And so they're baptizing slaves, they're giving communion to slaves, they're incorporating slaves into their public gathering when no one else would do that. And they were allowing women to come into the services and to prophesy according to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, and so women had no other opportunity to do that. In fact, Christianity has been the most progressive whenever it comes to the liberation of people of color and to women. I know that doesn't sound popular and vogue to say today, but if you look through all of human history, it was Christians who abolished slavery. First in Rome, William Wilberforce, as he abolished slavery in Europe. It was Harriet Beecher Stowe who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin after having a vision from God, wrote the book to be able to show the horrors of slavery. Another Christian man named Abraham Lincoln read that book. When he met Harriet Beecher Stowe, he said, so you're the little woman who has turned this country upside down. And he ran on an abolitionist platform, gave his life for the ending of slavery as well. It was Jackie Robinson who broke the color barrier as a Bible-believing Christian, his manager as a Christian that wanted him to break that barrier. And it was the pastors of the civil rights movement led by Martin Luther King who was enabled for equal rights under the law because of that. Christians are the ones who had led that, spearheaded that movement. Christians are the ones that have welcomed and incorporated women into public gatherings as well. Because there's neither Jew nor slave, male nor free, nor Greek, nor Jew, or men and women, all one in Jesus Christ. And so the Bible is not actually condoning slavery. It is actually teaching believers how to live kingdom down instead of living culture up. But don't believe me? It's okay. I got a verse. Here's what this verse says, 1 Timothy 1:9. Understanding this, that the law is not laid down for the just, but for the lawless and for the disobedient, for ungodly sinners, unholy, profane, for those who strike their fathers and mothers, murderers, sexually immoral, men who practice homosexuality, what's the word? Enslavers, liars, perjurers, and whatever else is contrary to sound doctrine. Here's a big long list of things that the Bible says these are immoral. These are wrong. And what do we find right there in the middle? Enslavers.